I make a bunch of trash when I'm doing tackle. And Tyler here is in my fishing line spot, so throw my fishing line down by your feet, dude. Sorry.
Talk about heavy hitters. Did you fish last year's event?
I did, yeah. I fished last year over in Raleigh. Yeah. It was a pretty cool event. I actually struggled mightily for like the first day and a half of the tournament, and then I figured him out pretty late in the tournament and ended up missing the cut by like a couple pounds. But it was one of those things where I was around the fish the whole time. You know, I just never quite connected the dots perfectly. And it was a frustrating one because, I mean, I had the bites to do it, and I was all around the dudes that had done really well over on Falls. So that was one that I want some retribution on. So this is the week for that.
Do you fish any differently with knowing that there's that big bass money out there?
It's pretty interesting because with the big bass pots in every round this week, it's a lot of incentive. I mean, a lot of the money in this tournament is geared towards those big bass. And really, I mean, there's no points involved. This is definitely a tournament where the money is skewed highly to the guys that either win or maybe make the top 5 or get those big bass pots. So it's a big deal. To really fish for that big money, you got to be fishing on the final day, and you got to catch enough fish to advance. So, I mean, the thing about this lake, that there are big fish everywhere. You could catch a big fish on a lot of different techniques, but for me anyways, I at least want to feel like I've got the right bait in hand, or I'm in the right area where a big fish is at least possible, which, I mean, right now in the spring when the fish are up shallow, a lot of them spawning, a lot of them post-spawn. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. You could do it flipping, throwing a frog, throwing a moving bait like a spinner bait.
You know, this was going to be the site of Red Crest originally. Did you come in pre-practice last year?
I never got over here last year. You know, I can't imagine how cold and terrible it would have been fishing during that front.
Ice storm.
Yeah. It was the storm of the century, and
it's probably frozen.
It would have been frozen. It would have been so hard to catch. After seeing the lake now, seeing how shallow it is and how, you know, it's kind of a dirty water lake, it would have been really tough. But this is my first time seeing the lake, and I was lucky to get through practice without tearing anything up too bad, other than just my own body. It was so windy in practice. That first practice, legitimately one of the top 3 probably windiest days I've ever been on the water. Yeah.
It's saying a lot. You fished Havasu, Mead, all those windy places.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen gusty winds before, but that sustained wind, I'm not kidding, from probably noon on was over 40. I was actually thinking about moving from ramp to ramp through the day rather than having to drive the boat out into the lake, but around like 10 o'clock, I was done with my first area, and I was like, well, I could drive to another ramp, or I could be a big boy and just drive my boat. It'll be a lot faster. It's not that big of a lake. I'm just gonna go to this next area in the boat. And it wasn't that bad. It was blowing like 20. So I go around the corner and I get into this area that I kind of like, and I end up fishing it for like 4 hours. When it's time to leave, it's like 2 o'clock now. And I was kind of in this protected area. And I come back out and the wind is blowing straight out of the north, straight up the lake at 40 plus. And it was, for a lake this small, I couldn't believe how rough it was. I mean, I had to go under a bridge that's out in the lake, and the bridge has got like 8 or 10 feet of clearance. And I was genuinely scared about going under this bridge because I thought the waves are so big, if I stay on pad, like I might hit the bridge on top with the boat and get crushed by it. So, but if I get off pad, it's really difficult to idle into big waves like that too, because you just be a submarine, take them right over the top. I'm like trying not to spear these waves when I get closer to the bridge, and luckily the boat trail had taken me a little closer to the bank, so it was a little bit more calm when I got under the bridge. But if I would have had to go under the bridge out in the middle, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I could have got under it.
What's it gonna take to win big bass each day?
It's so hard to know. I came into this thing thinking an 8+ pounder every round. After pre-fishing and this weather card that we've been dealt, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a heavy 6 or a 7 win it. Now, someone could definitely catch a 9 or a 10. It's definitely possible, but I wouldn't be shocked if you know, someone caught a 7-pounder, and especially for the single day deals, actually did it. So you can do that anywhere, and that's it's a really exciting, unique tournament where you can fish really aggressively, and you've always got to be ready for that big fish. You could be having a terrible day, and it could all change. We saw it happen with Randy Howell earlier this year at stage 1, terrible day, and it changed drastically with one hook set when he caught that 12-14. So we're here in Texas, and it could happen at any minute out here.